What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Fantasy Fellow Show. My name's Kyle. Tonight, Monday night, we have a really good football game on tonight. The Chiefs are hosting the Eagles. It's a Super Bowl rematch. Make sure you guys can watch that, or if you did watch it last night, that's cool too. But either way, we're going to be doing the waiver wire show for Week 12 here. I'm going to pull up the screen share, and we're going to go over my article here on thefantasyfellowship.com. You guys can check it out in the description below, or I'll probably post it in the comments for you. We're going to start with the injuries that we have to know about, and it's an interesting week, of course, Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving in advance here. We're going to have 3 games on Thursday, 1 game on Friday, and then the rest on Sunday and Monday. No buys this week, so it's a full slate. Excited for the no bye week here. But quarterback injuries to monitor. Of course, Joe Burrow with the season-ending wrist injury. That's a huge blow to everybody that you owned. I mean, if you had Burrow, obviously it hurts, but Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Mixon, maybe even Tyler Boyd, it's a huge blow. We're going to see Jake Browning get the start for the rest of the year unless something else happens. You can, in super flex leagues, you can pick up Jake Browning, but otherwise, Geno Smith here hurt the elbow. He was able to finish the game, though. He came back in for that last drive after the Drew Lock interception. So everything Pete Carroll is saying is that he expects Geno Smith to maybe play. So I'm assuming he's in for Thursday. We'll have to monitor his reports tomorrow and Wednesday. But I think Geno Smith's going to play. QB Derek Carr, he had the shoulder and concussion injuries back in week number 10, had the bye week last weekend. He's still not cleared from concussion protocol, but it's Monday. As long as he's cleared by Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, he's going to be good to go. I expect him to start. I think with the extra bye week off, he should be okay. Aaron Rodgers, again, still rumored that he's going to be back maybe week 16. We'll see about that. Still not excited about it. The Jets are moving on to Tim Boyle, by the way. Taylor Heineke, questionable the hamstring. They did name Desmond Ridder the starting quarterback there, so we'll see if he can hold on to the spot. Mac Jones has an unknown bruise that they haven't really specified, and they really haven't named a starter for this week, so not really excited about Mac Jones and the Patriots offense. Tyrod Taylor, if you play in Superflex leagues, he could return week 4. They're not ruling him coming back, even though Tommy DeVito finally looked all right and got a good win yesterday against the Commanders. But keep an eye on Tyrod Taylor. He could lift some players there in New York for you guys. Kenneth Walker was the big running back injury with the oblique. I'm listing him as doubtful. He plays Thursday with the Thursday Thanksgiving game. I don't know. I think we're going to see Zach Charbonnet get the start in this one and give Kenneth Walker some time to heal up in this one. Aaron Jones, again, he plays Thursday as well. It's not a season-ending knee injury, but it's a significant knee injury that could keep him out, 1, 2, 3, 4 games. Hopefully not the 4 games. Otherwise, they'd move him to IR at some point this week. But we're going to monitor Aaron Jones. I don't think he's going to play in this one. Hopefully, they don't put him on IR. Expect maybe 2 to 3 games missed for Aaron Jones. We'll talk about A.J. Dillon later. Ramondre Stevenson, questionable with a back injury. I think he's going to be fine. Devon Achane, luckily, he avoided anything serious with that same knee that he was out on IR. But he injured it early yesterday in the first quarter. They're listing him as day-to-day. He's going to be questionable for this week, so we'll monitor his reports. And then I did see Sean McVay says that Kieran Williams will be back week 12. So not sure on his capacity for routes, snaps, and all that stuff, but I do expect Kieran Williams to be the running back one this week. And maybe he's in a rotation, for a little bit with Royce Freeman and Darrell Henderson, but Kieran Williams probably back in our lineups. We'll be monitoring the ankle injury for Dameon Pierce as well as Deonta Foreman all week. Pierce has been out for the last 2 or 3 games, so I think Pierce is coming back in this one. Singletary's been hot. I expect him to continue to be the hot hand here. And then Foreman, he hurt that ankle off after a nice run yesterday. We'll see if he can practice this week, but otherwise it might be Khalil Herbert time. Antonio Gibson didn't play yesterday with a toe injury, but he's questionable to play. It sounds like he could play. Maybe that was why they held him out yesterday, so that he could play on Thursday. Emmanuel Wilson, Packers backup. After Aaron Jones, it goes A.J. Dillon and then Emmanuel Wilson. But hey, he's probably not going to play either. So the Packers are going to be down 2 running backs in this one. It's going to be A.J. Dillon and it looks like James Robinson. Cooper Kupp was the big wide receiver one this week with an ankle injury. He didn't come back in the game. He tried to, but it's a low ankle injury. We'll monitor his reports. I don't think he's going to play in week 12 here. We might see him miss 1 to 2 games and then back. So you're getting Puka back in your lineups for sure, and then maybe Tutu Atwell. We'll see. It does sound like Justin Jefferson's not going to play in week 12. He has a bye week next week. They're expecting him back week 14. So maybe, hold on to 2 more weeks without Justin Jefferson. You guys can get there. T. Higgins, questionable the hamstring. Not excited about T. Higgins. Michael Thomas is doubtful with a knee injury. He could be dropped in leagues where you need to make a move or two. Odell Beckham will be monitoring his shoulder injury throughout the week. And then Noah Brown, after his big 2 games a couple weeks ago, didn't play yesterday. Questionable with the knee injury. Traylon Burks, questionable with the concussion. Josh Palmer has a chance to return week 4. I haven't really heard anything definitive on that. They could shut him down. He could be back week 14. We'll have to check out for more information on that soon. Michael Wilson, questionable with a shoulder injury. He didn't play yesterday. Maybe he's back in week 12. And then Darius Slayton had a nice game yesterday, but he left early with an arm injury. We'll watch his reports. And then tight ends, man. We'll pour one out for Mark Andrews, season-ending ankle injury. They did say today, though, that he could come back in the playoffs, maybe. So maybe early to late January, something like that. If they continue winning games, maybe Mark Andrews can make an appearance. Dallas Goedert's still going to be out with that wrist injury. He's going to miss week 12. Maybe he's back week 13 or 14. We'll continue to monitor that. Darren Waller, kind of the same thing. He's eligible to return week 14. Don't know if he's going to play or not. We'll see. Giants really aren't going anywhere, but hey, it'd be nice to get him back. Gerald Everett with a chest injury. He's questionable. Zach Ertz could return from IR this week, but I think Trey McBride's kind of taken over that spot there. And then Dawson Knox eligible to return week 14. Still nothing on that. So those are the injuries that I caught. I might have missed a couple. Maybe I'll add some tonight or tomorrow throughout this list. Here are my favorite ads, just the quick hitters right now. For quarterback, Kyler Murray, Josh Dobbs, Jordan Love. If you can get one of those guys streaming this week, I like those options. Running back, it's Zach Charbonnet, who should have been owned already, but hey, if he's out there, he's the number 1 pickup. Devin Singletary, Keaton Mitchell, A.J. Dillon, Khalil Herbert, Ty Chandler, and then I just noted handcuffs. It's time to start picking up handcuffs because running backs, it's getting late. Running back drops for an injury, and all of a sudden you got someone that's going to get 15 touches per game. At receiver, it's Demario Douglas, who's back off bye. Jaden Reed continues to light it up. Josh Downs is back from his bye. Romeo Doubs continues to catch touchdowns. With the Michael Thomas injury, Rashid Shaheed's going to be an interesting wide receiver 3 flex. We'll see how Rashee Rice plays tonight. And then Khalil Shakir continues to make plays, and he might be the number 2 receiver over Gabe Davis right now. At tight end, Isaiah Likely stepping in for Mark Andrews, Taysom Hill, Luke Musgrave. Cade Otton, man, he's been good the last month or so. Michael Mayer starting to turn around and put some games together. And then Pat Freiermuth is back. Didn't do anything yesterday against the Browns, but he is back and he can be flexed or tight end if needed. Defenses this week, I like Miami, Kansas City, Minnesota, New England, and Tennessee. Those would be my favorite ads at those positions. You guys can check out the list of deeper leagues here that I added. In 12-man leagues that are pretty competitive, you might find a player or two on this list that you want to pick up. And then I did make a little list for the drops if you guys want to look at that and let me know if you have any questions there. Otherwise, again, let's go over the quarterbacks real quick. I did note that these quarterbacks should be rostered. If you can grab one of these guys, please do. Otherwise, Kyler Murray, he's only 62%. So there's a chance he's out there in your league. He's worth starting. They do have a bye coming up, but hey, if you can grab Murray, he's a good play. Josh Dobbs continues to rush for touchdowns and throw for touchdowns. So against Chicago at home, I think that's the Sunday night game this week. Maybe it's the Monday night game, but I like Dobbs quite a bit. Not a fan of Geno, not a fan of Russell Wilson, maybe Baker Mayfield, but honestly, Jordan Love in the Packers offense has been kind of putting it together the last 3 games here. It's at Detroit, a game where they might have to open it up and throw the ball. A.J. Dillon, the running back there, they might have to lean into Jordan Love throwing 40-plus times. Maybe Matthew Stafford at Arizona, but again, no Cooper Kupp in this one, maybe not. They do get Kieran Williams back, and they like to run for touchdowns here. But otherwise, not a lot at quarterback here. I do want to mention Dorian Thompson-Robins can be picked up in Superflex leagues. So can Desmond Ridder. Tommy DeVito should have been picked up in Superflex leagues. And then the Superflex pickup is Jake Browning for the week. I did make a list of deep stashes at quarterback. Keep an eye on Drew Lock with the Geno Smith thing. Keep an eye on Jameis Winston with the Derek Carr shoulder concussion. And then maybe pick up Aaron Rodgers, put him in your IRs. See what happens. We're still, 3-4 weeks away from that happening, but it could happen, and it sounds like it might happen. So otherwise, just view this list. These guys are all pretty much the next man up in case of an injury ahead of them. And then the running backs. I did filter this by ESPN percent rostership, and I've noted that the top 4 guys are probably owned. But hey, if you can get Singletary, please do. If you can get Khalil Herbert, do it. If you can get A.J. Dillon, do it. I still think Darrell Henderson's a hold. Because maybe he's still involved with Kieran Williams, and if anything happens to Kieran Williams, we're going to be looking at Darrell Henderson again on the waiver wire. So keep those guys in mind. Miles Sanders did kind of get the workload back with Chuba Hubbard. It was kind of a 50-50 split. So if he's dropped, he could be picked up. Kareem Hunt continues to be a piece in kind of a 50-50 rotation with Jerome Ford. I thought Ty Chandler looked really good last night. So he's a guy that I think can continue to grow over the next few games. Chuba Hubbard, just a bench stash for now. Right now, I'm not really excited about him, but he's, 7 to 10 PPR points, whatever. Algiers a stash. Deonta Foreman, I know he's injured, but hey, we know he's looked good at times this year. If he gets dropped, please pick him up. Antonio Gibson should be picked up. I know he's got a toe injury right now, but he had been playing pretty well before that. And then Keaton Mitchell, man. He looked good in a few touches the other night here. He's still not getting a full workload that I can trust to start every game, but maybe against the Chargers on Sunday Night Football, he makes some more plays. Tajay Spears needs to be owned right now. Ezekiel Elliott maybe, but Charbonnet is the breadwinner this weekend, only 32% rostered in ESPN, so make sure you can grab him. We'll see how Jerick McKinnon does tonight, and then Samaje Perine did get a lot of work last night in the game. I did make a list of stashed handcuffs. You guys can check that out. I bolded some of my favorite ones here. Please check out those handcuff lists. Wide receivers, kind of the same thing. I have my group of guys here at the top that are probably owned, but hey, if they're available, please pick them up. Otherwise, yeah, Romeo Dobbs under 40% rostered. Sign me up. Otherwise, Tutu Atwell, Demario Douglas, Rashid Shaheed, and Jaden Reed need to be on your priority. Maybe even Rondell Moore, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, these more PPR receivers that could be of use in deeper leagues. I have a list here of guys that I like, whether it's Zay Jones, who's back for the Jags, whether it's Michael Wilson, the rookie for the Cardinals, the second-year receiver Khalil Shakir. You know, with Mark Andrews down, maybe Rashad Bateman steps up. Maybe Darius Slayton continues to hum and play well with Tommy DeVito. And then I do want to see Donovan Peoples-Jones on Thursday. If he plays well, he might be someone that we were looking at next week. And then keep an eye on Dontavian Wicks. He continues to play well as the Packers' number 4 receiver. Tight ends real quick here. I did note that all these guys should be owned. If any of these guys are available, please pick them up if you can. The guy that I like this week is Isaiah Likely. You know, with Mark Andrews out for the year, you got to add Isaiah Likely if you can. Even if you don't need him, please add him. You can also flip him for trade bait, whatever you need. But Taysom Hill, the next guy up that I would probably pay money for. Luke Musgrave and K. Dotton are the young guys that I like, and then Logan Thomas is kind of steady, dependable. An older tight end there, but otherwise, not a lot of tight ends this week. It's not a fun week. Likely is the key. Hill, Musgrave, Otten are my favorites. And then at defense this week, I did note that these defenses at top need to be owned. My favorite plays are the Cowboys versus Washington on Thanksgiving, the 49ers at Seattle, the Ravens at the Chargers, the Browns at Denver, the Steelers at Cincinnati. But if you need a waiver wire defense this week, the Dolphins at New York Jets, the Chiefs at the Raiders, the Vikings hosting the Bears, the Patriots at the Giants, and the Giants versus the New England Patriots. That's like the lowest implied point total this week. Should be a low-scoring game with some sacks and some turnovers for you. I do like the Titans defense at home against Carolina and the Broncos against the Cleveland Browns. So there's some defenses for you. And there you go. That is the Week 12 waiver wire. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to be able to do a show on Wednesday night, but tomorrow night we'll hang out live. We'll do the waiver wire live show and basically get any questions you guys need on the waiver wire and for Thursday's game. So hang out with me tomorrow night, Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll go over everything you guys need there. Take it easy. Peace.